Hello crafty friends and welcome to our third video in Mojo May 2025. This month I'm creating cards as usual in all my videos, but I'm also sharing some tricks and tips to help you get your crafty mojo back if you've lost it. For today's mojo technique, we're going to look at batch prepping things. I find batch prepping a really useful activity, especially if I can't think what card I want to make or I'm not feeling very creative. I can take white paper, I can take bits from my box of backgrounds and bits, I can take vellum or specialty cardstock or even pattern paper, and I can die cut things from them and create a little stash of pre-die cut elements that I can use on a card. So sometimes just the act of batch die cutting a load of bits of card and paper is enough to make me feel creative again. And sometimes I'll pick up a bit of card or paper that inspires me. But sometimes having a little store of ready cut pieces is great when you just want something to pull out and get you going. You can just grab your box of little die cuts, rummage through it and find some bits to stick on a card. And that can be, as I say, enough to get things going again. So yesterday I had a fairly small batch die cutting session, if I'm honest, but I just took one stitched hexagon die and cut some gold glitter hexagons, some hexagons from my box of backgrounds and bits, some plain white hexagons, and then I put those on a piece of sticky paper and then ran it through my die cutting machine with a splatty embossing folder. And now I've got lots of little bits that I can play with today. Back in March I shared a video in which I used mini envelopes on my cards and I had loads left over, so I've now got some mini envelopes that I can put on a card. I've also got these little colourful labels that I printed at home and cut out with a pair of scissors. They're in there too, so they might be something that stimulates an idea. But today I'm going to use my paper fortune teller that I made in my last Mojo May video to give me some ideas on how I might use these on a card. So I'm going to pick a number between 1 and 8 without looking at the colours. I'm going to pick 5. So 5 is teal. So I'm going to do something with teal. I think that's salvage patina. So it's that Peacock Feathers salvage patina range of colours in Distress Oxides. I might not use those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2 or 3. I'm going to say 3. Die cut. Well, that's not very helpful. Let's pick the one next to it. Stencil. Then we've got 7 or 8, I'm going to say 7, paint. And then we've got 1 or 2, I'm going to say 2, grid. Ooh, okay. A grid of hexagons. I think it already is a grid, so let's look at the other one, floral. So we could put a flower die cut on top. Okay, so we're going to use teal, a stencil, some paint and floral motif. So we've got these, let's sort these out. Right, I've got this swimming pool acrylic paint, so that's going to be my teal. I've got this stencil, so that's going to be my stencil and that's going to be my paint. I'm going to work straight on my card blank and just stencil a little bit of this paint around this area here. I don't want too much paint on my sponge because it will splurge under the stencil. I think that'll do. Yes, that's fine. Just grab a scrap of wet paper and smush that up. And I'm going to dry this with my hairdryer so I can work on it. So my card has warped ever so slightly, but it will flatten out as it cools. I can always put it under a book as well, or something flat and heavy. I want a focal hexagon, a hexagon that's kind of bold and it's going to make a nice foundation for the floral element that I'm going to add. And I'm going to add a few hexagons around it. I want to leave a gap around that gold hexagon so you can still see that teal stenciling that I did. I'm going to move that over slightly. I don't think I've damaged that because I don't want them to be too regular, too grid-like. I don't think I'm going to use the white ones. I'll chop off the overhanging bits. I think I might put one of the white ones on there. I think I need something here, and the white ones are not too obtrusive. They're not going to draw the eye away from the gold. It just adds a little bit of balance. And I think just a little bit coming in from the top. I've used this die to cut out this leafy flower branch from some white card. I'm thinking I'm going to colour it purple. It's not the best way necessarily to colour a die cut. It's a pretty good way of colouring your fingers though. Right, we'll leave that for a tick. I'm thinking that pops quite nicely on there. Also cut it from vellum so that I can have a little sort of drop shadow made out of vellum. Just a little bit something extra there. So I've got my glue dotter here. I'm going to pick up some white glue and dot it on the back. If you want to know how to make a glue dotter, there is a video linked below in which I'll show you how to do it. Place that over the vellum, offsetting it, and press that down with a bit of non-stick paper to try and keep my hands a little bit clean. I'm actually going to press it down with a bit of tissue paper as well because there's still some wet ink on there. And I'll add a little bit of glue to the back again. And that can sit on there like that. Just needs a sentiment now. For my sentiment, I've got a pre-stamped and pre-die cut congratulations, and that's another thing you can do if you're not sure what you want to make, if you just want to do something crafty but you haven't really got an idea or any inspiration. Make some sentiments, do some stamping, do some die cutting, do some foiling, and add to your collection. You never know what idea it might spark. So we'll pop that on there, make sure it's straight. I did put a little bit of foam on the back to give it some dimension. And I think on the flower part of this die cut, I'm going to add some Gold Coast Nouveau glitter drops. These will dry clear, but they have some tiny little bits of gold glitter in them. So these will end up glossy, dimensional and glittery. And I could add a couple more as dots, just to spread the glitter love. Just going to give that a bit of a tap to encourage the drops to flatten out a bit. And once the glitter drops have dried, I'll take some close-up photos for you. Right, that's another Mojo May video done and dusted. Today's ideas involved batch prepping die cuts, batch prepping sentiments, and using something like a paper fortune teller or even a prompt list like this to help pick things to play with. I hope you've enjoyed today's video and it's given you some ideas. If it has, please do let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and I'll see you back here very soon for another Mojo May video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.